Tanzania is not just one of the countries in Africa. It is an extraordinary and richly contrasting corner of the Earth's surface, located in the heart of East Africa. This country amazes with its diversity of natural and cultural features, each seemingly taking the traveler on a journey through different realms. Among its many unique natural landmarks, Ngorongoro stands out, a legendary crater rightly considered one of the seven natural wonders of the world. Its name evokes admiration and awe, for it is not merely a depression in the earth, but an entire ecosystem with its own flora and fauna. Inside this massive natural amphitheater, conditions are created in which animals feel almost perfectly at home. Their space resembles true reserves, inspiring genuine admiration in everyone who sees it. Let's move to Zanzibar, the jewel of the Indian Ocean. Here on narrow, winding streets, as if from another era, the streets are filled not with cars but with bicycles and pedestrians, a scene that more closely resembles ancient times when time seemed to have come to a halt here. The atmosphere of tranquility and seclusion creates the feeling that each minute is lived to the fullest. Deep within the country, in the heart of the African jungles, tribes that preserve ancient traditions still live, for whom electricity and money are almost foreign concepts. They adhere to their customs and way of life, which for modern people may seem exotic, as if they have stepped straight out of historical chronicles or rare ethnographic texts. If you dream of beaches with white powdery sand, where there is no fuss or rush of tourists, then Tanzania is a place you must visit. An integral part of this journey is the Swahili language. This language is one of the most melodious in the world. Its sound resembles music that soothes the ear, allowing one to momentarily forget about the hustle and bustle of modern life. These contrasts, a wealth of cultural traditions, and mysterious natural sights make Tanzania a place that is definitely worth exploring and discovering for yourself. To make your trip even more exciting, I am happy to share some fascinating facts about this country. The first, Tanzania is a unique world where nature and history, ancient tribal traditions, and modernity intertwine. If you think you already know everything about this place, I am here to surprise you. This country is like a chest full of treasures, filled with secrets, where the wild world mingles with the rich culture of primitive tribes and the paradise beaches of Zanzibar, as if they were straight out of an advertisement. Imagine this. In the north of the country rises the mighty Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest peak, and below, in the endless savannas, lions and elephants roam freely. True rulers of these wild expanses, seemingly owning the land entirely. And this is far from all. Part 2 of 13. There are many ethnic groups in Tanzania, each with its own unique language and traditions, creating an unmistakable cultural palette, a true pattern embroidered into the fabric of national life. Among them, the Maasai tribes stand out, having carefully preserved their ancient customs and rituals for centuries despite modern influences. Surprisingly, many of them still live without electricity and are unaware of the existence of money, which sounds like a fantasy to city dwellers in modern society. If you are planning to go on a safari, be prepared for a real spectacle. Nature reveals its secrets right before your eyes, creating breathtaking moments that will stay in your memory forever. Overall, Tanzania is not just a country. It is a treasure trove of mysteries and discoveries that are enjoyable to explore throughout your life. The second fact concerns the Ngorongoro crater. Why is it called the eighth wonder of the world? If you think it's just an ordinary crater or canyon, you are mistaken. It is something special, not a volcano, not just a geological formation, but a true natural masterpiece. It seems as if nature itself gathered to create something astonishing, harmonious, and unique. Ngorongoro looks like a place designed for a grand ceremony or festival, where all its finest creations gather to delight the eye and surprise the imagination. This crater, formed approximately 3 million years ago, is a massive depression in the earth resembling a giant bowl, providing a home for nearly all African wildlife. In this mysterious place, the most diverse animals gather, some even that usually try to stay out of human sight. Lions, elephants, rhinos, all feel at home here, as if this territory is meant for them and only them. Meanwhile, you become an involuntary spectator of an exhilarating show unfolding at the very heart of this natural arena. Descending into the depths of the crater is like going on a mini safari, where each moment is filled with the sensation of authentic wildlife. Surrounding you is untamed, pristine nature, and you are a guest at its celebration, observing the circus of nature where every episode can be considered a masterpiece. This unique natural corner resembles a kaleidoscope of scenes from wildlife documentaries, where each shot is filled with vivid colors and emotions, as if the screenwriter, the very nature itself, has revealed its talent. It is worth noting that Ngorongoro is not only a picturesque place, but also one of UNESCO's most important World Heritage Sites, recognized for its unique ecosystem and rich diversity of living creatures. Here you can observe graceful giraffes reaching toward the high branches of trees, as well as formidable buffaloes ready to engage in a struggle for supremacy. All this scenery is a living story of nature in all its beauty and power. And if you dream of seeing how truly wild nature lives, Ngorongoro is exactly the place where wonder replaces everything else. This is a place where nature speaks for itself, and all that remains for you is to silently enjoy its grandeur and scale, immersing yourself in an atmosphere of pristine beauty. Now let's turn to the story of a completely different culture that exists in this part of the world. Meet the Hadza tribe, one of the last hunter-gatherer groups on the planet living in distant Tanzania. These people lead their everyday lives almost completely unaware of modern technologies and conveniences. Their existence is a skillful blend of ancient traditions passed down from generation to generation, and a total rejection of the comforts imposed by civilization. In the Hardos Gorge where they reside, electricity and running water are foreign to their world. They reject all the conveniences that modern life offers, considering them unnecessary and a hindrance to true living. For the Hadza, hunting is not just a means of procuring food, but a genuine art infused with adrenaline and skill. They use handmade bows and arrows crafted with a secret technique passed down through centuries, all to catch antelopes, boars, and even small birds. Besides meat, their diet includes edible roots, berries, and poison. Honey holds special value. They gather it from beehives as it is regarded as a true delicacy and often a source of strength. Built on a rejection of urban values, they do not keep accounts, store money, or make plans for the future. They live only in the present moment, perceiving each instant as a vital part of their lives. Their philosophy is simple and clear. Why store wealth when you can enjoy every moment that nature offers? They completely reject the modern way of life, looking at us as strange foreigners, accidentally stranded among them. Watching them, it's clear. These people do not just survive, they live according to their own laws. Their world is a place where the wildness of nature and its unpredictability continue to amaze, where each day is full of unexpected discoveries and challenges. And surprisingly, the Hadza not only successfully confront these challenges, but do so with an unrestrained smile on their faces, as if telling the world, life can be lived on your own terms, without artificial conveniences. In the 21st century, when most of us lose ourselves in the whirlwind of gadgets, social media, and modern entertainment, these people serve as a reminder that life can be simple yet meaningful and rich, just like the morning dawn or an evening campfire. Perhaps it's worth pondering what truly matters for preserving the genuine value of life. And finally, let's talk about the market, which seems incredible but is, in reality, a market of magic and witches. In Dar es Salaam, at the markets where fetishes are sold, an atmosphere reigns as if you've entered another world, where ancient traditions blend with modernity. Here live people, much like alchemists, skillfully mixing old knowledge with contemporary needs and transforming them into unique items. Do you want to attract good luck in your endeavors? Here is your amulet made from dried lizard and the skull of a lost bird, which are part of this ritual. Need protection from curses and evil eyes? A special talisman will be offered to you, crafted using ancient techniques, skillfully made from materials imbued with potent magical energy. Every item here is not just a thing, but part of a centuries-old mystical tradition passed down from generation to generation. These magical attributes embody the richness of culture and beliefs preserved since ancient times. In this place, everyone can feel that magic is not just fiction, but an integral part of their everyday life, where each action and each object is carefully filled with meaning and symbolism. In Tanzania, there are many amazing and sometimes mysterious traditions. One of them is the use of traditional herbal potions gathered directly from local fields. It is said that these healing remedies can cure the most complex ailments and attract love and happiness into the family home. Such items inspire particular interest among locals, for whom faith in magic and superstitions is an essential part of daily life. In these regions, no purchase is complete without a belief in the power of amulets and charms, as each item is considered to possess its own special energy. It is not uncommon to meet someone seeking advice from local witches, shamans, or sorcerers, whose wisdom is passed down through generations. Vendors often sell not only traditional jewelry and amulets, but also dried remains of animals, lizards, bat wings, and even bones, which, according to belief, can influence fate. Superstitions are deeply rooted in the consciousness of residents, and many believe that these attributes can affect their future. There are those who are convinced that a special potion helps succeed in business, while others believe that a skull bought from local healers can protect against evil magic and malevolent opponents. In this world, magic and mysticism are inseparably woven into daily life, and you won't find skeptics among locals. Everything is infused with faith and tradition. If a person is not willing to open themselves to these mysterious forces, it's better to keep away and not interfere with local rituals. The market is not just a trading place, but a true temple of faith and hope, where each item can become the key to a new life, change one's fate, or help find inner balance. Moving on to the next fact. On Zanzibar Island, there is a surprising and sometimes confusing local order for foreigners. Internal transportation by car is prohibited, and this is no joke. Take a look at the village of Nungwi. Its streets are so narrow and winding that even the smallest and most compact cars simply cannot pass through. Moving around here is not a race against time or for comfort, but rather a slow, measured rhythm of life, where tranquility and serenity reign. Part 5 of 13. Local residents mostly move on foot or by bicycle, creating an atmosphere as if time in this village has stood still and the world has frozen in the tranquility of a distant past. Forget car honks, smog, and traffic jams. They do not exist here. Instead, each day is filled with the sounds of nature, passers-by's conversations, and the aromas of exotic fruits, fresh fish, and spices. Cozy streets leading to markets and local shops are alive with energy and warmth. You can pass by the fishing market, where fishermen proudly share their catch from morning till evening, or stop at stalls with local baked goods and homemade dishes, creating the illusion that you've stepped into a film about a bygone era. No one is in a rush here. Everyone has enough time for a chat and a brief pause to enjoy the moment. The absence of urban hustle and the buzz of megacities is a true balm for the soul, in a world where each piece of land is imbued with patience and gratitude for simple pleasures. In Nongvi, you won't encounter noisy cars or crowds. Instead, you can immerse yourself in genuine coziness and feel that life moves slowly and beautifully. And if you dream of a place where you can forget about the hustle, enjoy nature, and experience true unity with your surroundings, let your steps lead you here, to the silence and peace of this small but amazing village. Finally, a story reminiscent of a scene from the most thrilling horror film, about man-eating lions, when the wilderness threatened an entire workforce. In the early 20th century, during the construction of a railway in Tanzania, an extraordinary event occurred, leaving a mark as one of the most terrifying pages in history. 2 lions inhabiting the Zava area decided that the workers, not just regular people but potential prey, deserved their attention and hunting. Within just a few months, these predators caused dreadful devastation, killing dozens of workers and paralyzing all construction activities. People armed with whatever was available, from spears to rusty rifles, literally tried to defend themselves against the onslaught of these bloodthirsty beasts. But the lions were merciless and unafraid of bright lights, thunder, or loud gunfire. They would come into camps like guests, leaving no one alive and inducing constant fear and horror. This incident is not a myth or legend, but a documented historical event that still sends shivers down the spine of those familiar with its details. The more stories are told about those events, the clearer it becomes how dangerous and unpredictable wild lions were when nature once again reminded humans of its greatness and power, making it clear who the real ruler was. Ultimately, it was the local hunters who managed to put an end to the long, intense chase that lasted several weeks. During this difficult struggle, they succeeded in catching and killing the lions in question. However, before that moment arrived, the fear among the inhabitants was so intense that nighttime cries for help echoed throughout the surrounding area. This story is far from just a simple account of wild animals. It is more about how easily nature can overpower humans, even when they are armed with modern machines and tools. More than 100 years have passed since then, and this incident is still vividly remembered, serving as a reminder that wild nature resists human control, possessing its own unpredictability and power. Let's move on to the next fact. Swahili is a language capable of mesmerizing with its sound, attracting attention, and inspiring an uncontrollable desire to listen continuously. Not now, but in ancient times, this language became a reflection of the cultural characteristics of its people, their traditions, and values. In Tanzania, Swahili holds a special place. It is considered the official language and serves as the primary means of communication for the vast majority of the population. This language is almost like a musical flow that lifts the spirits and brings smiles to every listener. The soft and melodious sounds of this language create the impression that words are filled with harmony and rhythm, making one wonder how such ease and melodiousness can exist alongside everyday speech. For example, the word pesa means money, and its pronunciation is like a song, gentle and pleasant sounding. Interestingly, the grammar of Swahili includes unusual constructions and forms that make learning this language an exciting and engaging activity. When you hear phrases in Swahili, they seem to dance, moving rhythmically. This language lacks excessive harshness and roughness. It rather embraces the ear, filling it with warmth and light. This language is not just a medium for conveying information. It is the soul of the people, their cultural treasure embodied in every word and expression. In Tanzania, where Swahili has become an integral part of national identity, its ability to unite people is felt, creating an atmosphere of unity, friendship, and trust. It is through this language that stories of life, love, traditions, and history are conveyed, carefully passed down from generation to generation, maintaining their significance. It is amazing how just a few sounds can convey a wealth of feelings and emotions, sensations that often go beyond mere words. Such a language seems to whisper in your ear, inviting you to immerse yourself in a world of warmth, harmony, and mutual understanding. Let's move on to the next fact. Kilimanjaro is not only an imposing snow-capped peak located in the heart of Africa, but also a symbol of the stark contrast between the hot climate and icy summits. Imagine how, in those regions where the plains and tropical forests thicken at the foothills, suddenly rises the surrounding beauty, a giant mountain, seemingly having forgotten that it is near the equator. This unique natural object is not just a mountain, it is a dream for those seeking adventure. For many climbers and travelers, a trek to Kilimanjaro is a test of strength and spirit, an opportunity to challenge oneself. I once saw a group of daredevils preparing for the ascent. Their faces were focused, eyes burning with determination, movements precise and coordinated. It resembled preparation for battle because each participant understood that ahead lay a tough and dangerous race. The height of this mountain reaches 5,895 meters, making it the highest point on the African continent. If you're skeptical, just look at its majestic snow-capped peaks, which starkly contrast with the lush greenery of the savannas sprawling below. Climbing Kilimanjaro is far from a walk in the park or a safari getaway. It is a true challenge where the climate changes. Here, sweet tropics alternate with humid jungles and the cold of the highest summits. Every step demands complete focus from the traveler, and each obstacle is a challenge. But it is precisely at the altitude, at the very summit, that the true feeling of freedom appears. You seem to find yourself on the roof of the world, where all worries and fuss stay below, and you feel part of something much greater. So if you dream of new adventures and extraordinary sensations, conquering Kilimanjaro will undoubtedly make that possible. And finally, a last fact, Zanzibar. This island is like paradise, where almost no tourists fill every corner. It is truly unique with its tranquility, absence of intrusive crowds, and an atmosphere of absolute peace. There you can enjoy the beauty of nature and serenity, as if transported to another world where harmony and serenity reign, and the flow of tourists does not interfere with admiring the beauty. If you dream of beaches that seem to come straight from beautiful tourist postcards, but want to avoid encounters with monotonous crowds, then you should head to the mysterious island of Zanzibar, scattered across the southern and northern regions of this archipelago. It is there that true gems of nature are hidden, perfectly suited for those craving solitude, silence, and calm. Imagine soft white sand washed by transparent waters that shimmer in all shades of blue and turquoise, as if nature itself decided to adorn this place with a special color, inviting you to dive into the cool waves. Meanwhile, coconut palms gently leaning in the wind whisper their tender songs, creating a sense of complete harmony with nature. The beaches in Zanzibar's southern regions are especially renowned for their seclusion. You can walk endlessly along the coast, and beyond the horizon, not a single other person for several kilometers. A real find for those seeking peace and privacy. Here await silent expanses where nothing disturbs the harmony. Only you, your breath, and the sound of the surf. And if you move to the northern part of the island, you'll discover new, equally enchanting corners hidden from prying eyes. Beaches where you can enjoy a magnificent sunset while sitting on warm sand, without fearing that someone will intrude with their loud selfie face in the shot. Here there is no hustle and bustle of a noisy city. The full activity of civilization seems very distant, like twinkling stars in the night sky. You can leisurely stroll along the calming coast, catch reef fish that seem to enhance the beauty of this place, or simply lie silently on the sand, lost in thought, with a sense that time has stopped and will remain halted forever. As for the mainland beaches of Tanzania, they are equally capable of astonishing with their splendid natural beauty. Here you'll find equally captivating and picturesque beaches where tranquility reigns and crowds are minimal, an ideal place for those wishing to relax and recharge, fleeing the urban buzz and immersing themselves in silence and harmony. Overall, if you're looking for a destination where you can simply be yourself, feel a unity with nature, and forget about your worries, Zanzibar is rightly considered one of the most attractive corners in the world. Fact 10. The culinary mix, that is, a unique blend of flavors born under the influence of three great cultures: Indian, Arab, and African. And if you thought that the cuisine of this island was limited to seafood and rice, you are mistaken. It is a true culinary mosaic where diverse dishes harmoniously coexist on a single plate. Indian curries bursting with spices and richness, Arab sweets wrapped in the aroma of honey and nuts, and African stews. These create an incomparable palette of tastes that evoke genuine admiration. When I first tried street food in Zanzibar, it was like a burst of explosive flavors that momentarily leaves one speechless, but fills you with a sense of satisfaction and happiness. Echoing this, stalls filled with the aromas of various spices open at every turn. Cumin, cinnamon, cardamom, and many other fragrant components create a vivid atmosphere that invites and entices you to try everything. It's easy to choose, either a curry with intense spiciness or juicy shashliks sizzling and crackling on the grill, as if calling to taste and appreciate their flavors. And desserts? Inspiring Arab sweets, generously coated with honey, decorated with nuts and dried fruits, only add to the overall picture of gastronomic pleasure. Each dish contains a rich history, with every culture contributing its own unique touch. Indian spices, Arab sweets, and African hospitality come together in a unique mix, turning each dish into a small event that immerses you in a distinctive cultural story of Zanzibar, where every spoonful is not just food, but a piece of a rich heritage. Don't be surprised if you suddenly feel like your stomach's possibilities are almost exhausted, because it's very hard to stop here. Everything is so delicious and tempting to try without exception. In the end, this gastronomic palette is not only about taste, but also about a deep history that unites people of different nationalities and cultures, making the island even more unique. So when you come here, be prepared not only for magnificent beaches, but also for your stomach and heart becoming witnesses to this amazing cultural exchange. Fact 11. Zanzibar time is special. The sun doesn't rise at the usual morning hour, but often at the dawn of the day, and sunset is painted in the warmest and brightest hues, creating a unique temporal atmosphere. If you previously thought that time in Tanzania flows just as it does in your time zone, you will be pleasantly surprised. Here, time can follow its own rules. Time in Tanzania is not measured as we are used to in everyday life. Here, the hours start counting not from midnight but from sunrise. So if you suddenly hear that 7 in the morning means the first hour of the day, no, that's not a typo. It's customary in this region to perceive time differently. For locals, morning is the moment when the sun just rises above the horizon, not a specific point on the clock hands. As a result, their morning coffee can be associated with waking up after a long winter hibernation, even though it might feel like the middle of the workday has already passed. This is not just an amusing city fact, but an important cultural feature that dictates its own approach to organizing time and planning. For example, if you plan to set up a meeting at 9 in the morning, for locals, it's probably the third hour of the afternoon, which is quite relaxed, because they perceive time differently. And if you decide to have lunch at 11 in the morning, for them, that's the fifth hour, and no particular surprise or rush arises from it. In this system, everything seems more harmonious, since the most important reference point for the inhabitants is sunlight, not the familiar clock hands. They start their day with sunrise based on natural rhythms rather than rigid alarms, which can indeed be a great opportunity to wake up early and enjoy the solitude and beauty of the coming morning. However, it's important to remember that light is not just a source of illumination, but a trusted friend and companion that sets the tone for everything in their lives. Thus, in Tanzania, time is more than just numbers on a dial. It's a special philosophy driven by the sun and nature, which establishes its own rules. Here's your 12th fact. In this country, coexistence is not limited to the unity of people. In Tanzania, wild animals may live alongside you and sometimes literally peek into your garden or yard. Imagine stepping out of your house in the morning and in front of you stands an entire family of hippos, peacefully grazing as if they had come for breakfast. In some villages located near lakes, such sights are quite common. You don't need to visit a reserve or go out of your way to see buffalo or rusty pink flamingos. They surround you everywhere, turning the local landscapes into a vibrant, living painting. Lake Natron is especially famous for its unique alkaline water, where flamingos gather by the thousands, creating incredible, almost fantastical still lifes on the water surface. This place is special not only because of its natural features, but also because the alkaline composition of the water protects the bird nest from numerous predators, making it one of the safest places for their breeding. Whether you walk along the trails or simply stroll nearby, you'll be greeted by bright patches of birds, as if they had leapt right out of a fairy tale. It's not just exoticism, it's real life, where nature and humans coexist in a strict yet harmonious union, creating a sense of having entered a wildlife documentary. Despite the fairy tale beauty, you must remember to be cautious. These gentle, fluffy neighbors can also be quite dangerous, especially when it comes to hippos, which are rightly considered some of the most formidable animals of the African savanna. Their impressive size can be startling, and their body weight sometimes reaches 3,000 kilograms, inspiring both respect and caution. So if you want to take photos or simply enjoy this natural scenery, it's better to keep a safe distance to avoid any trouble. Ultimately, Tanzania is not only a country with stunning landscapes and natural riches, but also a true arena for wild animals living side by side with people, just as their wild counterparts do, as if that's how it's supposed to be. And finally, one curious phenomenon. Why do some men in Tanzania paint their lips and wear women's dresses? Delving into this unusual and sometimes bewildering phenomenon, it becomes clear that behind it lies a rich cultural tradition, customs, or a unique style of self-expression characteristic of certain communities. In Tanzania, among the Maasai people, not everything is as it seems at first glance. Beneath the bright fabrics and unusual outfits, there is much more meaning than just a pursuit of beauty or aesthetics. The bright stripes and vivid colors are no accident. They serve as important symbols of status and power, as is well known to those familiar with the traditions of this people. Imagine that these clothes are not merely wardrobe items, but part of a complex system of cultural symbols passed down through generations, used to judge a person's social standing. In these tribes, clothing and jewelry are not just external decorations, but reflections of social role, dignity, and strength. Specially selected woven fabrics serve as indicators of a person's dignity, age, and social status. Maasai men are not limited to traditional clothing alone. They are well known for their passion for jewelry, which creates a unique personal identity. Beads, bracelets, earrings, necklaces, all these items are crafted with a skill that is valued just as highly as knowledge of the people's history and customs. Unique ornaments, often made from natural materials, are not just decorations. They reflect the richness of culture, its symbolism, and long-established rituals. But the region's colorful history does not end there. Many men in Maasai lands place special importance on their appearance. They apply bright dyes to their lips. These colored pigments are not merely adornments, but important social symbols. They attract attention, creating an expressive image that combines aesthetics and symbolism. Wearing a vivid outfit and coloring their lips, a man simultaneously demonstrates his belonging to a particular caste and his readiness to participate in complex social rituals. Such a bright external display should not be perceived as mere caprice or extravagance. Behind it lies a profound meaning connected with rituals, ceremonies, and the holiday calendar. Every such image conveys a message to society about the individual's status, dignity, and responsibilities. Importantly, this world has its own rules and codes, which often differ from Western standards and ideas about gender roles, showing that within Maasai culture, tradition and status hold special significance. The image of a bright man with painted lips and unusual clothing indicates his maturity, position in the hierarchy, and responsibility. Therefore, one should not be surprised by such contrasts when visiting Tanzania. This is yet another shade in the vibrant portrait of this colorful and authentic country where ancient traditions coexist with modernity. In this sense, it is akin to a palette of colors, where each spot is a unique stroke of the people's history, culture, and spirit. The 14th fact is as follows. Over 120 different peoples live within Tanzania. Yes, exactly that many distinct ethnic groups inhabit this African country. Before you are tiny worlds themselves, with their own languages, customs, and traditions that shape their unique identities. It is like a vast diversity of cultural universes, each with its own distinctive color and traditions. In a mosaic of such multifaceted diversity, where tribes such as the Hadza, renowned for their hunting skills, coexist with tribes like the Chaga, distinguished by their rich agricultural knowledge and craftsmanship, life is maintained according to strict but harmoniously integrated rules. The most remarkable thing about this diversity is that, despite the apparent heterogeneity of the peoples, the country maintains an astonishing level of stability and peacefulness. Part 12 of 13. There are no regular conflicts based on ethnic grounds in Tanzania, which seems truly surprising in our world, where borders and differences often cause tension, clashes, and disagreements. This is evidence that cultural diversity is not only a source of complexity, but also a powerful source of richness, fostering respect and mutual understanding. People here learn to appreciate differences, respect each other's traditions, and find common ground even when their cultural codes differ significantly. Traveling through these lands, every encounter or chance conversation becomes a kind of key to a new level of knowledge and experience. Each meeting is an opportunity to learn more about another culture, better understand its features, and perhaps change one's own perception of the world. In such conditions, every person is compelled to reconsider their views and expand their understanding, making travel through these lands truly unique and enriching. The 15th fact concerns the history of colonization and its consequences for Tanzania. Let's explore how foreign powers specifically influenced the development and transformation of this country. First, it must be noted that, like many other African nations, Tanzania experienced a lengthy period of colonial conquest. In the early 20th century, German colonizers held sway here, followed by the British. Each of these powers left a significant mark on the country's territory, influencing its culture, economy, and even architecture. While the Germans began actively building infrastructure, creating a network of railways connecting inland regions with port cities, these railway lines, stretching through often harsh and remote areas, carried not only economic importance but also symbolized attempts to integrate different parts of the country into a unified whole. Thanks to these constructions, transporting goods and people became easier, stimulating trade development and accelerating economic growth. However, traces of this period remain visible to this day in architectural styles, some infrastructural remnants, and monuments, many of which still retain their relevance today. It can be confidently said that this era laid the foundation for the modern transportation system as we know it today. However, it is important to remember that all these roads and routes were created not only for the convenience of local residents to facilitate movement and trade, but also for the extraction of valuable resources that the land of this region provided. In a historical context, it should be noted that the British, striving to conquer and colonize a new continent, ultimately left behind much more than just administrative structures. Among their legacy are the English language, which is officially recognized as one of the national languages and widely used in everyday communication, government, and education. But it is at this stage that the story becomes particularly complex and rich, as a true tangle of cultural layers unfolds before us. On one hand, the sounds of local languages can be heard in the air. Authentic folk songs and traditional chants echo, preserving images and customs passed down through centuries. On the other hand, English is spoken everywhere in conversations, sometimes resembling a poor dub, unwisely overlaid on the native speech, creating the impression that an unprofessional translator tried to convey the local worldview. The city's architecture clearly reflects colonial buildings. These tired yet still proud monuments of the past coexist with modern constructions, where traditional culture seemingly merges with Western style, creating a unique color that is characteristic solely of this place. Ultimately, the entire country is not just a mixture of cultures, but a constantly changing cocktail of traditions, historical archives, and modernity, where past and present are intricately intertwined in an endless dance. This is why, wandering through streets and avenues, one can notice the astonishing architectural eclecticism. It combines old structures reminiscent of bygone eras with new modern buildings that showcase development and progress. All this vibrant interweaving of old and new prompts reflection on how historical events have influenced the country's current appearance and how they shape its modern identity. Some may think that Tanzania is only a land of famous safaris and the peaks of Kilimanjaro, but behind these superficial impressions lies a whole world, rich in cultural traditions and natural wonders, many of which remain unknown to most. Here in this corner of the world where ancient customs and colonial heritage coexist, every corner tells its mysterious story, and local residents, like guardians of old secrets, carefully pass down the spirit of their traditions from generation to generation. Just imagine how tribes like the Maasai staunchly preserve their customs and traditional rites, rejecting the influence of globalization and modern trends. This is truly inspiring and commands respect. But do not think that Tanzania is only about natural beauty and cultural relics. It has its own unique rhythm of life, its own challenges, and its ambitions for development. So if one day you decide to journey to these lands, be prepared for an exciting cultural and natural immersion that will leave an indelible mark on your heart and broaden your horizons of understanding the world.